Okay, got a quick little video today with this Nikon 35 to 70 millimeter 2.8D version. It's not a whole lot out on the internet about this little lens. It's a very good option compared to the Nikon. The Nikon, the new ones, 24 to 28 to 70 version G. You have the VR and the non-VR version. I think the VR version 1600 and the non-VR is about $1,600. The VR version of it that just came out a year or so ago is about $2,400. So this is the predecessor to those two lenses, the Nikon 35 to 70D, rumored to be one of the favorite lenses for use on portraits at Playboy magazine. So this is from the 35 millimeter film days. This is an older lens, which is not currently in production, but compared to the $1,600 price of the current version, this version of course does not have a silent wave motor in it, so you do have to have a body that's capable of, that has a drive motor in the body, which this particular body of course does. This is a D7100. So this lens is pretty sharp at f2.8. I think I've heard, some of the lower price options like the Tamron. I think Tamron makes a 28 to 75 that's very inexpensive. It's relatively sharp, but they say it's not very sharp wide open. You have to stop it down to f4 or f8 to get it sharp. This lens is sharp enough for portrait work at f2.8. So this is a pretty good little option. You can currently get this lens on eBay. Of course, it's not in current production, so you're going to be buying used. I bought this lens a couple of years ago, and I think they go for between $330 and $450, depending on condition. And I paid about $380 for this one. So, and it's a good copy. It's giving me good images and stuff. The only thing you have to watch out with this particular lens, it is a push-pull operation for zoom. You push and pull this in and out. Has your zoom indicator here, 70 millimeters to, which is a little bit backwards of what you'd expect. You'd expect the lens pushed all the way out would be 70, but it's not. It's 35, and when you push it in, then you're at 70 millimeters. This lens also has a macro mode designed for wedding type detail work, like shooting wedding rings, macros of wedding rings and so forth. Not designed to see the whiskers on a bumblebee. You're going to need more magnification, but this lens is great for wedding type work, I would think. So the price, I don't think you can beat this. I mean, you can buy one of the plastic fantastic options that are out there, but this thing is built like a brick shit house. I'm telling you, it is completely metal. It's heavy. You'll notice the way I'm holding this lens, I'm supporting it with my hand. I'm not just holding it by the grip, because this is a lot of weight, especially for a D7100. If I was using this all the time, like shooting weddings, and it was mounted on here all the time, and I was using it on a consistent basis, I would probably mount a battery grip on here. One of the functions of a battery grip, not just does it give you the ability to go portrait mode and have a shutter button, and give you expanded battery power, but it also has the effect of strengthening the body here, the camera mount on the body. Put a Nikon grip on there, and it will strengthen your camera mount. So Anyway, this is a good little lens. I'd highly recommend it. You can see here that it has your distance meter for focus out here. You have a manual aperture ring here. This lens will do automatic aperture, electronic aperture, and work fully automatic. But to do that, you set it on the orange, which is f/22, the minimum aperture size. f/22. You set it there, and then all your electronic exposure, your aperture adjustments and stuff work. Now, if you're one of those who's chronically inclined to whine like a little baby about Nikon's aperture and video, the lack of control of aperture in video mode while you're recording, you can buy a lens like this, and then you have manual control, and you can stop whining and driving us all crazy. Some of these people, year after year, every Nikon that comes out, they just hammer over and over. They whine about that freaking aperture control. Get very annoyed. I'm pretty sure Nikon's aware of it by now, and they'll change it when they get damn good and ready, evidently. But I wish people quit whining about it, though. You can mention it once, but do you need to keep hammering it for 10 minutes? No, you don't. And there's lots of people, especially the Canon shooters, like to do that. It gets old. Anyway, if it's that big a deal, then buy a freaking lens like this with an aperture ring on it. And then you don't have to whine all the time. It's unbecoming when you whine like a little baby like I'm doing right now. Anyway, so this is a great lens, built like a brick shithouse. This thing's all metal. It's made in Japan. This knurling here, this knurling on this looks like those rubber knobs, the rubber knurling. No. This knurling is all machined into the metal of this lens. This is all metal, and the time and effort it took to machine that knurling in there, you're not going to get that today. Even on the $2,000 lenses, you're not going to get that. So pretty good build quality. It's awesome in that regard. Like I said, it's pretty dang sharp, wide open. I'll try to find a couple examples of images to tack on the end of this video, but the only thing, if you're buying this, of course you're going to have to buy it used. There's a couple known issues. Because it's a push-pull, just the design of this, depending on the previous owner and the conditions, that push-pull sometimes can suck a little dust in there, which normally doesn't affect image quality. Mine is pretty clean inside. It's not bad. I don't know if you can see that, but mine's pretty dang clean inside. So you can shine a bright light in there. There's an element down in this area right here that two pieces of concave glass that's cemented together. And evidently that cement they used can age and get kind of milky colored and can affect image quality. So if you buy a copy of this lens, that's one thing you're going to want to double check when you buy it, is to make sure that the elements are not foggy in there from that glue. I've heard Nikon can repair that. I have no idea what it would cost, probably $300 or $400, but it'd be worth it to have a good clean copy. But mine is clean. There's a little bit, if you look through it, it's clean. If you shine a high intensity beam like 700 lumens in there, you can see a little bit of cloudiness, maybe 5%, or less. But it doesn't affect the image quality or anything. This is a good copy. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share it as an option. This is the 35-70 2.8D from Nikon. No longer in production. It's all metal, made in Japan. It's quite a bit more compact than the current 28-70s. They're the G versions. I think they're going to come out to about here. The VR version's even going to be bigger. It's going to be, the VR version's probably going to be about 40% longer. It can also be fatter. Probably not going to be any heavier. This thing is built like a brick shithouse, I'm telling you. It triples the weight of this D7100 body. So anyway, there's not much on the internet about this, so that'll conclude my presentation. I just wanted to bring this lens to your attention. If you can pick one of these up for $380, $400 and a good copy, then I'd say you'd be doing a pretty good deal. You'd be getting a pretty good lens. It's definitely, you know, if you don't want to drop 1600 or 2400 on the current versions, if you don't have to have the newest, latest, greatest, but it's also, like I said, it's quite a bit more compact than its newer brothers. So, good option. You might want to consider it if you're in the neighborhood. You're looking for professional quality in that zoom range. You know, at the medium telephoto, low telephoto range for wedding work or whatever. It's typically for portraits and wedding type work. But thank you very much for watching the video. Appreciate it.